All right, so I still don't have audio in the room.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I don't have audio.
As far as like how much they can afford.
All right, so I don't have audio in the room, so I can't hear you guys. So we'll deal with that moving forward. Hey, welcome to BoldTrail Academy. Today I have a guest host today.
Hello.
Heather, will you introduce yourself?
My name is Heather Bierwirth, one of the Heathers with Chicago Title. Happy to be here with Alex.
Yeah.
Show you a little bit about some of what we offer.
That's right. And so before we get started on today's topic of Title Toolbox and putting together your real estate farm, I want to go back into the BoldTrail Academy on the school platform and just highlight a couple things I've done with Michael Hollickson. He was our speaker at PCAR last week. And so what I did was I went in and I had my AI put together a summary of how to get closings. If you're sitting back right now and you don't have any escrows going, he tells you exactly what you can do to get up and go and get some business going. So what I did was I had my AI go in and generate this summary of what you can do. And so this is going to lead into what we're talking about today, because I'm running into a lot of agents who are coming to me that are new to the area or new to the business. And they come to me and say, hey, I don't have a database. I don't have a database. I haven't been in the area. And they're just kind of wondering what to do. And so for me, I say, oh, well, go into Title Toolbox and create a farm and do this and that. And I just get blank looks. And so with that said, and building on the presentation last week from PCAR, I want to show you how to do this. And I will say that going back 20 years ago, if I would have focused on a real estate farm instead of being the agent of the minute and going all over the place, I would be a lot more successful today. You know, for me, I would love to do all my business in the Loomis Basin Valley. But I've never effectively just marketed the Loomis Basin Valley. Now I am marketing it, and I'm seeing great results based on creating a real estate farm. So with that said, what I want to do is turn it over to Heather, and I'll give you the screen share, and we're going to jump into this. And I appreciate you joining me today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Okay, hop into my Chicago Title Toolbox. Just gonna clear this real quick. Okay, so first and foremost, one thing that I want to make sure everyone knows is that when you're working with Chicago Title, myself or any of your Chicago Title reps, we can share farms with you. So that's one huge piece to note. We want to meet with you. We want to teach you how to use the tool so that you understand how to draw out your own maps or pull a large farm, whittle it down to what you're looking for. But we're also here to help. So when you have an open house and you want the closest 25 doors or whatnot, we can help pull that for you. We can get it onto your dashboard. So please remember that is what we are here for, here to help. But I believe today we are gonna kind of dive into what Angel is looking to explore, which if my understanding is Fair Oaks, Carmichael, and Orangevale.
Yes.
Are you wanting to explore those as a whole or individually?
What would you recommend?
Well, let's take a
Since-
look individually first so we can play around with
Okay,
it.
excellent.
So what's really great about this farming tool compared to a few others that we use is you can pull large amounts of information. So if we did want to pull all three of those cities, we could pull that all in one. And that's really nice. You can pull in multiple counties, multiple zip codes, that sort of thing. But if we come under the farming tab here at the top, and we go down to area search. Now, just to let you know, obviously radius search, it's going to prompt you to put in an address, and then you can determine what size radius you want to come out of it. You can do a boundary search, which is going to be plotting your actual point. So if you're very specific on, a neighborhood and exactly what the homes you want to pull, you can draw it out. Or we can do area search, which is what we're going to do for this farm. So if we were to go under the general tab, we're going to switch this to Sacramento County. Scroll down, we'll do Sacramento, and now we're going to hit city. And we will select Fair Oaks. Now, if I did want to add more, you can just click right below, and that's how you can continue to add more to your list. Now, let's just hit get count right now. We're just going to get our eyes on all of Fair Oaks and how many properties it pulls, and then we can kind of play around with whittling it down. So obviously, lots of properties to start with. Is there anything specifically, I'm going to go into a few different areas, but anything specifically or a type of niche, a type of property that you are looking for?
My clients like a little bit of a bigger lot, not necessarily too big, but maybe half an acre or less.
Okay,
Or there are where they could go up to a little bit over a half acre.
okay.
So maybe
So we could do it between.
we
Okay.
could do in between.
Are you looking for properties that are owner occupied, or does that not matter?
Does not matter.
Okay. So a couple things. At the top, obviously you can see, we're going to go through each of these tabs and I'll highlight a few things. If we were looking for owner occupied, we would select there, we would click on yes, and then it's going to, obviously change that number. Now, if we're looking at property characteristics, we're looking at building size. This would be square footage. So that's something I'll touch on later, maybe when we're chatting about the empty nesters. But this is where you may want to clean it up just a little bit. So right now we could just focus on single family residence. We can get rid of that. You can also come in here and look at the different property types that you might want to include. So sometimes, like for vacant properties, you can use that. I'll be honest, if you're looking for something outside a single family condo or townhome, it's best to reach out to your rep, so we can reach out to our customer service. They have tools available to them that are a little bit easier to pull, especially vacant.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
better results. Okay, so single family residence, we have the building size, number of units, pool size, number of stories. To note, and again, I'll touch on this later with the empty nesters. In Sacramento County, you can search by number of stories. Placer County, you cannot. They don't record the number of stories when you have your closing. So that's something to keep in mind. But lot size. So all of these drop downs are going to come with an between, equal to, not, greater than, less than, all of that. So if we wanted to do that between the top there, it's going to give us the minimum. And I can't type half an acre, 1 acre. How many feet is that?
So we'll just do like 0.5.
Okay.
That's half.
And then we'll do what?
Yes.
1.25 or what?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Let's see if that.
So it's in feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it
So 43,560
43?
is 1 acre.
43,560
Yeah, 43.
is 1 acre.
Is 1 acre. So you want to go a quarter. So you're going to go 10,900.
Okay. So let's just hit get count again and let's see what that brings that 13 plus down to. So now we're down to 6,000, a little over 6,000
Yeah.
properties. So again, we can come through here if they're interested. Oh, go ahead.
And so let me make a point.
Yeah.
What we're doing here is showing you that Fair Oaks has almost 14,000 total single family residential properties. By putting in the acreage, we just shrunk that number down to 6,200. You guys, when you're doing this, you have to think about how many properties you can market to effectively. And what is that number? And that number is going to depend on your marketing budget, the size of your team. But that's what we're doing here is we're whittling that number down to something that's manageable.
Yes.
So go ahead.
And on that too, obviously we also pull plenty of firms. If you have a new listing, you're holding an open house, you want to, pull the 200 closest stores, or you want to do it to your neighborhood where you live. You can pull that smaller farm where it's more manageable. So you can include door knocking or whatnot. But if you are going to do some mass, emailing, texting, what have you, you can pull that entire city. So this is another area that you can come into and you can play around with the purchase date. You can do that sort of thing. So if you did want to pull those properties that have at least owned for 5 years or more, 10 years or more or whatnot, you can, same kind of thing. It has the between, last however many months, on, after, before, that sort of thing.
Yep.
You can play around obviously with the purchase price too. And then the other, not much to do here, to be very honest. We'll ignore that. Now, custom filters, this is one I just want to at least highlight because I do have a lot of agents right now that are focusing on empty nesters. And that's for this platform, 30+ years owned, 3+ bedrooms. Now, one thing that Alex brought up earlier, we could also go back to the property characteristics and we could pop in a minimum amount of square footage as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just turn on that filter and
And
see what it
that's
does.
more relevant in Placer County
Mhm.
because we can't do 2 stories.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
So we can hit get count here. So right now, all we've done is turn on that empty nester. So now we're down to 1,600 properties. Now, like I said, and like Alex just brought up, we're in Sacramento County, so we can do the equal to 2 stories. And we can hit get count again. So ideally, these would be your downsizers. So now we started out with close to 14,000.
Yeah.
We are focused on empty nesters. They've lived there a long time. They're 2 stories, potentially looking to downsize. There's no reason they should be climbing the stairs anymore. We are at 349 properties, which is very doable.
Yeah.
Now, the difference of doing it this way versus, drawing out your map is this is going to make it a little more challenging door knocking or doing that sort of thing. This is going to be more for your email blast,
Yeah.
potentially purchasing phone numbers, giving them a call. The other part of purchasing contact information is you can get them on your social media. So that it, sometimes people don't purchase contact information because they're just ready to pick up that phone. Not saying you shouldn't, but you can get them on your social media. So now they're starting to see you show up in multiple places is the goal.
Yeah.
And let's see, let's go back to custom filters. You also have the out of state as well. Some agents really do like to focus on this, see who's looking to offload their California property. So you can always look at that. Next seller, this one is going to be based off of when you pull a farm that you actually do the boundaries, because it's basing it off of that, it's basing it off that connected farm, the plus or minus average years of owned of that connected farm. So it wouldn't necessarily work for this. Yeah, much else to point out there. Okay, so let me get rid of a couple things so we can go back to a larger list because I want to show you another thing that Alex and I were talking about. Let's just go back to, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so Premier Data. So as you know, every platform has a paid version, and this is you pay for what you want to purchase. So first and foremost, there's the life events. If you hover over here, you'll get kind of the breakdown of what you'll be sent once you purchase. And there's another, here's the full price list where you can see notice of default is 8 cents a record, same as trustee sale, divorce, affidavit of death is 65 cents, so on and so forth.
And the point is that the data doesn't cost a lot.
Mm-mm.
It really doesn't. And I go in every month and I download the current.
Mm-hmm.
I put them into my KV core. They're under a hashtag, and I have a marketing campaign that I use through the platform to reach out to them. So it's not expensive.
And then on top of it, you can also add phones and emails. But in this section, if we were to come down here and let's say we're interested in notice of default, I like to do the last number of months. So if you wanted to do the last 4 months, you could do that. We could hit get count.
And let me point out that you can only do one of these Premier Data searches at a time. You can't do multiple. I tried it
and it
didn't work for me. No,
because it lets you add them, but it didn't work real well.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
Okay.
So you have to do them
Good
one
to
at
know.
a time. Yeah.
Good to know. So out of that larger list, we have 7 properties, notice of default. I think I left the empty nesters. You can see it all down here. So that is also,
and the cost is 56 cents.
I believe
for those 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you can tack on phones and emails if you like. So that's another area. Now, one thing you can do too, let's get rid of, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Does it cost money to get their phone numbers and emails?
It does.
Yes. So phones and emails phones are 7 cents a record. Emails are 8 cents. Phones, they gosh, it's been a little over a year where they provide up to 5 phone numbers that are attached to the property, but it's only at that 7 cents charge. So it's not per one they find.
And let me just interject and say that when you're looking at the charge, you have an account
Yes.
and you put a balance in there. And then, so I think my balance right now is like $130. That's why I have in there. So when I'm going in there and doing my monthly searches for major life events, it's just deducting
Yeah.
from my account balance.
Yeah. And the way, oh, go ahead. Say it again.
The phone numbers are not always accurate.
They're not always accurate. And the other part that you have to keep in mind too is they do not scrub against the do not call list. Which I know Alex is going to touch on because you do
Yeah.
have something with EXP, which is fantastic because otherwise you're paying for a dialer system or you're doing
Yeah.
the long work of taking it to the do not call list and entering in the phone numbers, you know, and making sure.
Yeah, I'll show you guys that within our EXP, our different apps that we have, there is a way to upload the database into a do not call list
Mhm.
scrubber, and
Which is-
we're gonna
yeah.
touch on that.
Which is great. It looks as though you can upload your entire list, which
Mhm.
is fantastic that you have that at your fingertips. And the other thing to keep in mind, when you purchase this and you use the credits out of your wallet, it's going to charge you as though it's going to get 100% of the information, whatever it cannot provide, you get reimbursed for. So you'll
Yeah.
get that initial charge and then you'll get that piece back.
So it charges you just for pulling it, or does it charge you at the download?
It charges you when you pull the information with
So you
you.
can't just referee to try to figure out what list you want. You got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let me get rid of one thing because I want to show you another area that you can do. Let's get rid of the notice of default. Let's add a couple of things back in. Oops, 2 stories, and let's put empty nesters back on there. Oh, I think I still have it on. Okay, let's get counts. Let's go back to that. I think 349 was it?
Yes.
Try again. You can do it. Keep working.
I love technology when it works,
I
right?
know. Uh-oh. That's okay.
I have a little something to add.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And this goes back to our last week's conversation about how important it is to know the area that you are working in. So for example, we're talking about Fair Oaks right now. So when you have someone that's really interested in Fair Oaks, you can say, hey, we have 59 homes on the market right now. They're going to vary from a quarter acre to a full acre. And that way you can get really detailed, but it goes back to, it's very important to know the area that you are farming. And that way, when you talk to your clients, you are very knowledgeable and they go, wow, she knows what she's talking about, or wow, Alex really knows what he's talking about. He's on his game. And then that adds value to you giving your clients the best you possibly can.
And building on that same thought, the idea of using KV Core for digital domination of your farm, when you see a listing that pops on the market that you can go and boost, and it's in your digital farm area, well, now you're going to attract more buyers. And then you're going to have a list of buyers that are already in your database. And when you go and have that potential listing appointment, you can pull up your KV Core and say, I have all these buyers for Fair Oaks, California. And you're not just pretending like you're an expert at that point. You are an expert
You know,
because you're focusing all your activity within your farm.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Absolutely. So I, for whatever reason, it wasn't working, so I just re-pulled it. The only thing I didn't pull was the acreage again, because I don't remember numbers that way. So we're working with 662. So let's say we want these 662, we want to view the records. I want to show you one other way that you can look at those life events. So if we wanted our list, we have it here. Oh, it's going to take a minute. There we go. It's going to populate a map over here. The different flags are the green are owner occupied, the blue are non-owner occupied. Oh no.
technology issues today.
We lost signal in there. Give me a second. There it
There
goes.
we go.
We're back. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. If you need to get back into your search, just come in here and hit edit search. But the new possible leads is where you can get your eyes on it as well. So it's going to take that in 662, and then it's going to give you an easier drop down. So you can do 12, 6, or 3. Whereas you saw before, I could do, X number of months. I chose 4. So if you wanted to be more specific, but this gives you a quick glance at, 12, 6, or 3 months, and you can purchase from there. It's going to pop you back into that same screen. So if you wanted to tag on those phones and emails, you could do that too.
So it's an interactive
Mhm.
search that is pointing out what the high targets are
Mhm.
in that neighborhood. Super cool. I
One-
didn't know that existed.
Yeah. One other thing while we're on that topic, I don't know how to move that thing. Let's see. Sorry, that little like volume, let me just close it. Hopefully it doesn't do anything on your end. Okay. Another thing that I like, so let's say you have a new listing and you want to pull that same thing, the life events.
Yeah.
So you have this drop down here. I'm going to touch on the nearby neighbors in just a little bit. It's one of my favorite features. But if you go to generate report, we're going to do lead sheet and we're going to generate. And this is going to take within a 2.5 mile radius, all the life events in the area. Give it a minute. And I believe it's in the last 180 days, I believe. This usually takes a quick minute to pull, but it's another
and-
way to
And
just quickly pull that
again, it
information.
digs deeper into that digital farm area so that you don't have to look at 600 properties. You could focus in on those major life event property. I like that.
So this is, again, it's, let's see, 2.5 mile radius, last 180 days. So you can get your eyes on what those life events are. This is the most recent thing they added. So as you can see, you can click there and purchase straight away. But now they've also added where you can just quickly buy phones and emails. So again, if you want that, you have that new listing, you want that, quick farm of a specific life event, or
Yeah.
you want to, do an email or, phone blast, you can always purchase it directly from there.
Is that estimated value accurate
Where are we looking at? Where are you looking at?
in the third column from the
183.
Oh,
under?
I'll ask. Because I'd like to say yes, but one thing with this one, since it is a free platform, because they do have something on here where you can actually do the assessed value, and I wouldn't say it's accurate. We have some paid farming tools that are much more accurate as far as like current home values. This, I don't know that I would say for sure yes, but I will get you an answer to that.
So as you can see, you guys, if you're new to the area or new to the business and you're sitting there thinking, what do I do? What do I do to go and find these properties? How can I focus my activity and really maximize what it is I'm doing? We went over the print media available within the platform. So we have all of that, those resources available. We have the Canva resources available. So my feeling is in today's market, I think we've all become numb to spam calls, spam email, and so on and so forth. The way I'm using this is I'm seeing these these high target properties, and I'm mailing to them. Yeah, I'm going out and walking the streets and door knocking on them. Who's doing that right now? The agents that are closing deals are out there doing it. We can sit back and we can hide behind our computer screen all day long. I'm an expert at it. I really am. But you guys, where you get traction is when you get out there into this digital farm. If it's Fair Oaks for Angel's going to get out there and do it. But this is a way of going out there and just focusing on high value targets so that you're not out there just blasting the entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that is very valuable because when you're out there taking your time to go and contact homeowners directly, I would much rather contact homeowners that are more likely to have a transaction coming up rather than someone that just bought the house 18 months ago. And that's really what this tool allows you to do. So obviously there's a lot of different searches you could do.
Mhm,
And so my recommendation is to reach out to the Heathers,
mhm.
sit down with them and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And they're going to have ideas because, this is what you do.
It's what we do.
I learned stuff today and we could keep going and going. But it's important to meet with your title rep, their marketing experts, and say, look, this is my neighborhood. How can I find the highest value targets in the neighborhood? And then I wasn't aware that you can keep going into your digital farm and seeing those updates. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So stop your screen share, and I want to go in and share something really important with you guys.
5-minute countdown.
I got you. So I'm here in the dashboard. So within EXP, if you haven't logged into your dashboard, this is your dashboard. These are all the different apps, okay? So within this app, there is, it's right here. It's Agent Tool. It is the, it's a way where you can check your database. And so within this is the do not call list, and the database that we create,
Mhm.
and you append it with phone numbers. We don't want to be a spam caller. If someone's on that do not call list, you don't want to get in trouble. I think the fine right now is upwards of $2,000 per incident.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they will go back and look to see how many times you called, and they will get you for everyone. So
So
it's just not worth it.
yeah, so you don't want to do that. So within this app on your agent dashboard is a way to upload the CSV
Yeah.
file right here.
Which is really good because like I was telling Alex, you can go to the do not call list. It's free for you to use, but you have to individually insert them.
You have to what?
You have to individually take them in. So the fact that you have something that you don't have to pay for, I would totally utilize this because other companies, they use Mojo Dialer, Vulcan Dialer, or
Yeah.
whatnot to scrub the list. So this is great.
so-
that
and
you-
then
Heather,
part-
are you saying that you can't put your whole
They don't let
CSV
you,
file?
no, they.
You have to check
yeah,
numbers one
the
at a
do not-
time?
Yeah.
I think you can upload 10
Ridiculous.
at a time. And it's free as long as it's 3 area codes. So obviously it'd be fine for us 91653. You have some outliers or whatnot. But yes, on Do Not Call California, you cannot upload your entire list and have them scrub it.
Yeah, that's a serious waste of
Question,
time.
can you go back and repeat what you had said about calling the people too many times? What happens?
Oh, if they are on the Do Not Call list and they decide to pursue the fact that you're calling, they will go back and check how many times you called and they'll fine you for each time that you called.
And so
We had it to
the,
an agent in El Dorado Hills. It was really pricey, yeah.
the app is called Safe Dialer. It's right here. It doesn't really stand out a whole lot. It's just EXP Safe Dialer. That's where you want to go to upload the CSV file.
Oh,
I haven't done it myself, but with most stuff here, I could figure it out. But yeah, you want to use that. And then Heather, what do we know about the emails that we get and using those to contact the clients?
So the emails from this platform, we have multiple farming tools, as you all know. I always, every single time, regardless what platform they pull it on, when you're ready to get contact information, I bring it here. Especially for emails, they use a third-party vendor to ensure that these emails are active and being used.
Okay.
Are you going to get a dud every once in a while? Of course. But I get the best feedback and I lean on agents. How's the
Yeah.
how are the contact information?
Yeah, I find that it's about 70% accurate.
Yeah.
But the point I want to make to this, and it's a question that Chuck King, who's on the call, had expressed to me is if you're not sure about marketing and what is allowed, what's not allowed, get a hold of the state broker. You can go through the EXP world, ask that question, because in real estate, the question that's going to hurt you the most is the one that you don't even know to ask.
Yeah, right.
And you just don't want to get in trouble. We have access to a lot of data. If you go in and put a farm together and say it's 400 and it's 70% accurate and you're like, oh, well, that's not enough. Well, what can you do?
Yeah.
You go and you expand it. My experience with it is in my digital farm, I went in and did 2,300.
Okay.
Don't do that. It's way too many. Yeah. So that's what we have for you guys today. Heather, if you would put your contact information in the chat, so people can get a hold of you. What I'm going to do right now, I don't have audio in the room. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll take questions. But let me stop the recording and then I'll restart it for questions.